In today's business climate, do more with less is the name of the game. One Westport-based software company is helping other companies do just that with their new mobile application. Here to explain how it works is John Lorino. He is CEO of Proposal Software. John, good having you on the program.
Thank you for having us.
John, you saw that there was a real need out there when it came to software and also reps and people working in the field globally. What was the problem?
Well, our software manages the proposal aspects of large companies. We have hundreds of companies all around the world who are running their new business process on PMAPS, our proposal software. We kept meeting chief marketing officers around the country and around the world actually, who were expressing a concern that they weren't sure what everybody was doing all the time.
In other words, the paperwork one rep might have in Tokyo could be different from whatever the paperwork someone might have in Moscow.
That's right. And we live in this 24/7 world, so things change rapidly. So just because you had a document on your laptop yesterday doesn't mean it hasn't been changed in New York today. So how do we make sure that you have absolutely the most current document, and not only is it content correct, but it looks and feels correct to the brand that we're trying to promote.
Yeah, and this isn't just to keep the brand clean. I mean, now because of regulatory changes, a lot of this has to do with keeping with compliance, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Our healthcare clients, for example, and our clients on Wall Street can't hand you a document today if they even think that there's one sentence in that document that isn't completely correct.
Okay, so that's why having these documents updated as quickly as they're updated from the point of origination is essential, isn't it?
Absolutely. Compliance is actually trumping everything. They would rather not bid on a big opportunity if they knew that there was something that might not be compliant. And
I guess my understanding is that new regulations also require multiple bids.
Oh, there's a whole process where you go through a request for information, and then if you're selected from that cut, you go through a request for proposal, and then you go into a final pitch. So the information gets repurposed over and over and over again, and it has to be consistent from one phase to the next.
And these are for huge, this whole protocol that has to be followed is having to be used by huge global companies, isn't it?
It's a tidal wave that's going across the whole world. It's a combination of what they call supply chain or procurement management creeping up as being more important, and the need for transparency. So all business-to-business transactions today require this kind of arm's length process where you could be my best friend, you could be my next door neighbor, and I'd still have to make you fulfill this information request that requires sometimes you sending me back a notebook full of information.
All right, and that's where your software comes in. You've always had software somewhat like this, but now this really makes it web-enabled, right?
Well, we did web-enable it a couple of years ago, but the real big breakthrough this year was that we moved it to mobile devices.
All right, let's hold that up because this is your beautiful iPad.
So this is an iPad.
Right.
And this happens to be an iPhone.
Right.
But the software will work on any BlackBerry, the new BlackBerries, Androids, iPhones, and iPads. So
it's very clean and very user friendly. This is how it would display on the iPad or the iPhone.
So a salesperson anywhere in the world, 24/7, I can be having dinner with you in Tokyo. You could ask me a question, and I can answer it instantly. I can log into the software. I can look up the answer, and if I find it, I know it's compliant, so I can share it with you right on the spot, or on a screen like this, I can actually show you charts and graphs. At the same time, if you ask me to send you information, I can actually generate that document real time, link it to you, customize it to you, and email it to you right over dinner.
So in other words, because it's web-enabled means what to the people in the field?
It's available to them 24/7, 365 days a year.
In other words, they don't have to contact your company to have the software sent to their company or individuals.
No, they're pulling it off a database that their company is maintaining, and it's a win-win for a lot of people, because typically if you ask me a question at dinner, I didn't know the answer, what would I do? I'd email somebody back in the home office. They didn't have to look it up, email me back, and then I have to email you Now I can give you the answer real time, instantly, and I avoid all the other people involved in that request.
Now, what kind of competition are you seeing in this field? I mean, software businesses, it's huge.
In this particular niche, we only have one global competitor. Happens to be another U.S. company. So this is really the future of Connecticut. This is a good example where we have a better workflow, we had better ideas, we had better technology, and companies from all around the world are coming to us here in Westport, Connecticut for this software. And we're talking about the world's largest corporations too.
Yeah, and the feedback that you're getting, I mean, are they finding little glitches that they say, you know, can you fix this, can you amend that, or have they been pleased across the board?
Well, we've been doing this for 16 years, so it's in constant development. So our software is driven by our customer base. We're talking about the smartest people out there doing this all the time, and so we never suffer for a lack of good ideas about how to make it better.
John Lorino, good having you on the program. Good to see Connecticut the focal point for this software, getting the world's attention.
Absolutely, we're exporting jobs.
All right, that's great. That's all for this week. We'll see you next week on 12 of the Money. I'm Rebecca Saran.